Before I get into intellectual properties, I want to talk about a couple other things that lead up to this. That's the basis of this. But what is a Republican form of government? There seems to be some that seem to think that democracy is not a Republican form of government, and in fact it is. It's a form of Republican form of government. But let's talk about what James Madison defines a Republican form of government as. And he emphasizes popular sovereignty and majoritarian control. And he talks about this in Federalist Paper number 39. And he says, we may define a republic to be, or at least may bestow, that name on a government which derives all its powers directly or indirectly from the great body of the people, and is administered by persons holding their offices during pleasure for a limited period or during good behavior. It is essential to such government that it be derived from the great body of the society, not from an inconsiderable proportion or a favored class of it. It is sufficient for such a government that the persons administering it be appointed either directly or indirectly by the people, and they hold their appointments by either the tenures just specified. Now, if we were just to have a single party, just the Republicans, just one single party system, what happens to that? It turns into a dictatorship. Why? Because you don't have opinions out there. You need to have different parties out there. We're a nation that welcomes all people, all religions, all opinions, all types of views, all types of political ideas. So we have a two-party system, one that's conservative, one that's liberal. Right now we have what is known as a dictatorship. And the dictatorships are often characterized by some of the following: suspension of elections, civil liberties, which Donald Trump is doing. He's cheated the elections. He's got Elon Musk buying the elections. Proclamation of a state emergency. Well, he's already done that, hasn't he? And certainly I'm sure he's going to declare the Insurrection Act so he can quell down those of us who are protesting against his dictatorship. Repression of political opponents. He's suing law firms and going after attorneys and going after individuals that he feels he's been harmed by. Of course, he hasn't been harmed by them because they have gone after him for his criminal acts. Not abiding by the procedures of the rule of law. Yeah, there you go. Donald Trump doesn't abide by the rule of law. And the existence of a cult personality centered on the leader. Is that not what we have right now? Is that not what we have right now? And it's our own ignorance that has gotten us here. Okay? Now, the American Creed. I don't know if you've heard of the American Creed or not. The American Creed is something that was written. It was a contest back in like 1916, 1917 that was held was open up to anybody, any of the citizens, to kind of write a poem or write a paragraph or some kind of a synopsis of what an American is. What is an American? It was a contest open to all. And the winner of the contest, and I don't recall his name offhand, but the winning creed was then read into and accepted by the House of Representatives on April 3rd, 1918. And so the American Creed states as follows: I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy and republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, humanity, for which the American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies. So what do we have? What do we have now? What do we have that's going on right now? We've got repression that's going on right now. We've got deception that's going on right now. We have a segment of our population who has been brainwashed on lies and continuing to be brainwashed on lies day in and day out by the Fox Network and right-wing activists who cannot stand and always want to own the libs, right? Got to own the libs. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean? Is this the nation that we want? Is this what we want? Is this the nation that we want? Donald Trump, an Elon Musk are destroying this nation. And this is where intellectual properties come in. Intellectual properties come in because we don't have to put up with this. Now we don't have to put up with this. Now, uh, from the Declaration of Independence, the last sentence of the Declaration of Independence says that, let's see, where's that here? We do, okay, it says here, establish commerce and to do all acts and things which independent states do, and to support the Declaration of Independence with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, fortunes, and our sacred honor. That's what this nation is formed on. It wasn't formed on Christianity at all. It was formed on deism and theistic rationalism, to be truthful. But it is formed on a moral goodness. That's what it was formed on. And when we talk about we pledge our lives and our fortunes, what are we talking about our fortunes? What we're talking about our fortunes are the gifts of God, the gifts that God gave us that are for our use and our benefit. But we as Americans, as United States citizens, gave those fortunes up. Unknowingly, because of our ignorance and because it was not disclosed to us and because we were not informed of this, we gave up our fortunes to this nation for the good of society. This is not a nation that is for individual persons. This is a nation that is for the good. That's for the good of the collective body. So it is a good. So the United States of America is for the good of the posterity, or the good of the Republican Party, or the good of the Democratic Party, and hopefully we're supposed to find some kind of meaningful middle ground. But we're at a point now where this is a dictatorship. I don't want to be a part of this country. I don't want a part of any of this stuff, and I don't think we have to be. We don't have to be. We can withdraw our property that we put into this and become independent in and of ourselves. So, and these are the things we're going to talk about. I'm going to go into great depths about these things, about all these intellectual properties, where we fit in with these things, how they belong to us, how they were taken from us. I'm not saying that it's all Republicans, I'm not saying it's all Democrats, it's both parties. Okay, it's both parties that have deceived us for decades upon decades upon decades, and have denied us the knowledge of this so-called, this higher intellect of metaphysics, which is what everything is based on. I mean, the whole basis of government is not a philosophy. It's in a metaphysical realm that we have no idea that any of this even exists. And because we don't know any of this exists, it's why we're at where we're at now. We've gotten, the economic collapse. After the economic collapse, many people lost their houses and still losing their houses. People lost their pensions. People lost. They lost out on everything. And what happened? The government came in and they supported the banks and they said, the hell with the people. And that was a lot of anger. A lot of anger rolled from that. And out of that anger is where Donald Trump arose. So people could put their anger in him and they could identify with something. They thought that he was going to drain the swamp with a deep state. Well, it turns out that you've been lied to. You have been lied to in a most egregious manner, and it boggles us on the other side how this can happen, how you cannot see the truth and the facts that's going on here. We've got a dictatorship here. If you think that he is freeing this nation, and if you think that what Elon Musk is doing is going to be so that Donald Trump can give it back to you, you're dead wrong. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to teach you about intellectual properties. I'm going to show you exactly what Donald Trump has been doing here. I'm going to show you what we need to do, or what we should do to get this, to try to restore this nation. Because at some point in time, we're either going to become a full dictatorship, and dictatorships do not last forever. Donald Trump will be overthrown, and his sycophants, Pam Bondi, and all those will be held for treason. They will be. I'm certain of this. I'm positive of this because the American spirit is too great to allow this to happen, and we see that out and about right now in all of the protests that are going on, which I think is a great thing. But what we have, but out of this, something else has got to shake. We cannot be the same state that we can't become the same. We cannot be the same nation that we were that was leading up to this. There's got to be honesty. There's got to be disclosure. There's got to be we have rights to take what is ours. That we get the residuals, that we get the royalties, that we get the revenues, we get the profits off of our investment of our intellectual properties into this system that we have not gotten. It is why Elon Musk, it is why these tech individuals have become billionaires, because of our own ignorance. Because we don't understand the value of our name, we don't understand the value of our soul, we don't understand what everything is based on. And that's what we're going to be talking about in a great, great depth. So I hope that you'll follow along. And I'm not trying to isolate the megas out there. I'm not. I hope that megas will listen into this, because it is very important. If you can accept a fact, if you can listen to something, if you can see the presentation of a fact and look at it without doing the whataboutisms, you're more than welcome to join us, because this is going to be an adventure. This is going to be a spiritual adventure as well as personal adventure, and I think it's going to be very enlightening for a lot of people. It's certainly going to be enlightening for the tens of millions who lost their houses, who were thrown out of their homes because of mortgage electronic registration systems. But it goes a lot deeper than that. So anyhow, I don't want to get into too many things right now and get off topic on some things. I just wanted to give a little bit of a blow off some steam, I guess you could say. Thanks. I hope to hear from you again. Thank you. Good night.